Earth, our home planet. 1 billion light-years from here sits IC 1101, one of the largest known galaxies, estimated to contain about 100 trillion stars. It became this massive by merging with and cannibalizing many smaller galaxies over billions of years. We're leaving Earth now, traveling through the Milky Way, on our way to that distant giant. The Milky Way stretches about 100,000 light-years from edge to edge and contains hundreds of billions of stars. Around us right now are hundreds of billions of suns, and astronomers estimate that most of them have planets orbiting them. That means there are hundreds of billions, and possibly trillions, of planets in our galaxy alone. Rocky worlds, gas giants, icy moons with underground oceans, and the question that's fascinated humans for centuries is whether any of them harbor life. We don't know yet, but the sheer numbers suggest we might not be alone. If even a tiny fraction of 1% of those planets developed life, that would still mean millions of living worlds scattered throughout the Milky Way. Most of the stars around us are red dwarfs, small, cool stars that make up about 70% of all stars in our galaxy. They're so faint that despite being the most common type of star, you can't see a single one from Earth with your naked eye. But red dwarfs live an incredibly long time. While our sun will burn out in about 5 billion years, the smallest of these stars can shine for trillions of years. That means planets orbiting red dwarfs have enormous amounts of time for life to evolve if conditions are right. Ahead you can see the bright band of the Milky Way's core, that glowing river of stars visible from Earth on dark nights. At the very center of our galaxy sits a supermassive black hole called Sagittarius A star, weighing about 4 million times the mass of our Sun. The Milky Way formed roughly 13 billion years ago, not long after the Big Bang. Over those billions of years, it has grown by absorbing multiple smaller galaxies that wandered too close. In fact, our galaxy is still eating other galaxies right now. The Sagittarius dwarf galaxy is being slowly torn apart by the Milky Way's gravity, its stars gradually mixing with ours. This process takes hundreds of millions of years to complete. Galaxy mergers like this are common throughout the universe. When two galaxies collide, they don't crash like solid objects. The distances between stars are so vast that the stars themselves almost never hit each other. Instead, the two galaxies slowly merge together through gravity, mixing their stars over hundreds of millions of years. IC 1101, where we're headed, took this process to an extreme. A galaxy that likely grew through many mergers, far more than the Milky Way has experienced. The stars are thinning out now. We're reaching the outer edges of the Milky Way, where fewer stars exist, and the darkness of intergalactic space begins. There it is, our home galaxy, the Milky Way, seen from the outside. A spiral galaxy containing hundreds of billions of stars, stretching 100,000 light-years across. Every human who has ever lived, every civilization that ever rose and fell, every war, every discovery, every moment of joy or tragedy, all of it happened on one small planet, orbiting one ordinary star, somewhere inside that spiral. That star is now invisible, lost among hundreds of billions of others. And this entire galaxy, as large as it seems to us, is small compared to where we're headed. IC 1101 is several times wider than the Milky Way, with some estimates suggesting 5 to 7 times larger, and may contain many times more stars than our entire galaxy, possibly hundreds of times more. We've left the Milky Way behind and entered the space between galaxies. This region is almost completely empty. Almost no stars or planets, just vacuum stretching for millions of light years. But those points of light around us aren't stars. Every single one of them is another galaxy, each one containing millions to hundreds of billions of stars. Astronomers estimate there are about 2 trillion galaxies in the observable universe, scattered across distances so vast that the light from some of them has been traveling for billions of years just to reach us. Galaxies aren't randomly scattered through space. They're organized into what astronomers call the cosmic web. Clusters of thousands of galaxies connected by long filaments, with enormous empty voids in between. We're crossing one of those voids now, heading toward a massive cluster about 1 billion light years from Earth. That cluster is called Abell 2029, and it contains thousands of galaxies packed into a region about 6 to 8 million light years across. The galaxy we're traveling toward, IC 1101, sits at the center of that cluster. After billions of years of consuming other galaxies, it has very little cold gas left, so almost no new stars are forming. What we'll find when we arrive is what astronomers call a red and dead galaxy, filled with old stars but no new stellar birth. A graveyard containing the remains of all those galaxies it absorbed. And at its center waits one of the most massive black holes ever discovered, weighing about 10 billion times the mass of our Sun. We're approaching the galaxy now. The bright glow at the center is the galaxy's core, packed with hundreds of billions of old stars. As we look toward the edges, the light fades into a diffuse halo that stretches for millions of light years. This core is the largest ever observed in any galaxy. It has a radius of about 13,700 light years. That enormous core likely formed from the repeated mergers this galaxy experienced. When massive galaxies collide, their central black holes spiral inward and scatter stars outward, creating these huge diffuse cores. This galaxy was first observed over 200 years ago. On June 19, 1790, astronomer William Herschel spotted a faint smudge of light through his telescope. He cataloged it as a nebula, not knowing it was actually one of the most massive galaxies in the universe, sitting a billion light years away. In fact, we're not even seeing this galaxy as it is today. The light reaching us left here over 1 billion years ago, when Earth's oceans contained only simple single-celled life. In that time, some of the stars we're looking at have already died and faded away. At the very center sits the black hole, 10 billion times the mass of our Sun. If you could replace our Sun with this black hole, its event horizon would extend well beyond the orbit of Neptune. This black hole grew alongside the galaxy, absorbing the central black holes of every galaxy this giant consumed. After billions of years and dozens of mergers, this is the result. One of the most massive galaxies ever discovered, filled with trillions of old stars and anchored by one of the largest black holes in existence. A cosmic monument to what happens when galaxies collide over and over again for billions of years.